went on, we lost the desire to run behind the line. We have the lead, so we're probably a little bit more protective of that, but we have to stay aggressive and utilize our forward, but also keep running behind the line. So I think for the first 50, 60 minutes, it was good. Giassi had a very strong, well-rounded performance tonight, so something for him to build off of. And again, good to get some other guys. Leo got good minutes, good to get Julio back in there. We were doing some different things just to try to plug some holes. It's, that's what it looks like right now with what we have, but they keep giving everything, and that's it. It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. And our guys tonight were willing to persevere, to push. The effort, the passion, the discipline was really nice to see.
Eric?
Hey, Josh, what'd you like about the service that Giazzi got also? I mean, when I think of him not having scored this season, I don't think of a guy missing a ton of clear-cut chances. I think more of a guy who hasn't been given a ton of service. But tonight, what made that different? Yeah,
service and minutes. I think it's coming in and obviously through training, getting getting up to speed, gaining confidence. But confidence comes for me from preparation and certainly days and weeks of execution that put you in a better headspace. But he's a goal scorer. You put him in front of goal, he has good instincts. Positioning's usually pretty good. Sometimes it's just getting out of your own way and just doing what you've done your whole career. So of course we can continue to provide more service. I think the first goal is much like the goal that we scored against them in preseason. It was something we talk about, how we can. We need more of those crosses. We call it our hot zone. But he was in a good spot, took it extremely well, and hopefully we can keep our guys fit and sharp going forward, and G and Diego can give us good minutes and keep competing.
Yeah, and then obviously New York gets the early goal. I thought they had the better play in the early 20 minutes of the game. What did you see that changed and maybe gave a little bit more desperation, a little bit more impetus from your guys?
No, I don't. I don't think look at it as desperation. I think they did. They started quite fast. We started quite slow. I don't know that we touched the ball much in the first 5 minutes. Their structure, they utilized the goalkeeper. They get center backs really wide, so getting pressure, it was a challenge to begin with. They took their goal well. Opie had a nice chance again to answer that. But we also expected them that they could be potentially in a different structure. So they were in a 4-4-2 once we got back to our normal 4-1 building up with JoJo sitting as a 6 and Alex and Seba. Just speed of circulation, how we bypass the first line. When we have trouble bypassing the first line, it brings trouble to the rest of our game. But after the first 15 minutes, we started to pick up the pace. We got into some of our passing patterns, so to speak, and we got into their half quite nicely. We lived in the attack much more. Created a number of good chances in the first half. Was glad to get the goal at the end to kind of validate a little bit of the momentum in the end of the first half, and the second half becomes a grind. It's a slog, but we had to hang in there. But glad that Giassi was able to grab a couple goals.
Coach, you guys are on the fringes of the playoff race.
Yeah.
What do you think, beating a team that came in two wins in a row and winning 10 of their last 15, how much momentum and confidence could that give you going forward?
Yeah, I think momentum is a big word that Rodolfo, myself, that we talk about inside the game when you have momentum, and I think you got to capitalize when you have that momentum. We've had some periods of good momentum and poor momentum, so how quickly can you get off the poor momentum and recapture some positivity? Again, pretty good performance against LAFC, good win in Minnesota, certainly a miss against Kansas City, and we come home and we grind, and you get another decent performance at home to get 3 points. The home games are critical. They're extremely critical, and we're going to have to, again, recover from this game and get ready for a very good Seattle team who, as you know, is a team that just typically gets better as the season goes. So we want to stay in the playoff hunt, and when we get these 3-4 guys that can help us with our last 8 or 9 games, we believe that could give us a good final push. But I give a lot the staff, high performance staff, the players, a lot of credit. From certainly the expectations of who we are, what we've had at the beginning of the year, the difficulties that it's been. The guys have continued to persevere, grind, and find ways to get results, and we got to continue to push.
Moises?
Hey, Josh. So talking again about that first goal in the 5th minute, immediately post-game, how do you handle talking to the players about a deserved win and balancing that with something like that you've got to look at as you forge ahead in the season?
Yeah, I think that you look at the entire 90 minutes. The guys, the resiliency, the character, the spirit was was incredible. And once we got a hold of the game, we created a lot of chances. You can see we get leggy. We don't have a ton of subs to come in and really affect the game. So we got to hang in there, and the guys continue to do that.
Speaking of the, the guys that are out there grinding, you had a few guys come off limping, cramping. It looked like Ring, Bidu, Valencia in particular, slapping the ground. Going into this run of games that you got here in July, until those new guys come in, what are you looking at in terms of having guys available, having guys taking care of their injuries?
Yeah, it's been like that for a while. I think, you saw us climb the charts when the schedule was Saturday, but once you have a light roster and you start hitting 3 in a week, you start hitting the heat, it becomes real challenging. Thankfully, we don't have the 3 in the week right now, but it's not easy to see guys have to come out. Alex isn't a guy that typically comes out. Johan is not a guy that typically comes out. So we'll have to see what those are, but I think they're more knocks or cramps than potential injury. But we'll have to see. And then we got to put the best group forward that we can for the game against Seattle, and again utilize our fans, utilize the energy inside Q2, and give everything we can to win another home game.
Speaking about the energy inside Q2, right toward the end, CJ Fodry brought something that I've seen him do at Palmer Field, playing for the second team, hyping up the crowd. How much more of that kind of thing do you want to see from your players? Your players, showing recognition to the fans, activating them.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think CJ's able to come in and give some minutes, and we hope he can continue to do that. I think the fans are extremely important to our success, and we've stated that many times. So I think the players show great appreciation to the fans, and I think they show that in return as well.
Any other questions for Josh? All set? Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.